Hi, Anna. Welcome. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Today, actually, we're kicking off second session of our LACOPS Trailblazer series. And we're so fortunate today to have our our hero, Mother Karina, joining us in tonight's session. But real quick, we are an organization called LACOPS Pride. Actually, really came about is actually LA County Officers Pride Society, and the whole idea behind forming this affinity group is joining forces of the Los Angeles Police Department and LA County Sheriff's Department, um, personnel, LGBTQ personnel, and along with allies, have a forum, really, affinity group to seek support, networking, education, and as well as seeking um, diversity and equal rights in the workplace. Because in the past, there hasn't been any affinity group really focused on the LGBTQ initiative topic. And there were some, but then kind of faded away. And so we figured that having just focus on local area, focusing on LA County, having the two biggest agencies forming an affinity group, and which has been working out really good. And so we membership primarily are members of first responders throughout the LA County, and our really biggest two pieces are the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department. Our president is Jules Schoen. She is a sergeant from Los Angeles Police Department who is here with us tonight. And I'm the vice president of LA Cops, and I'm Keith Ho. I'm a sergeant also with the LA County Sheriff's Department. So we had a good equal representation here for the affinity group. Also with us here as a co-host with us tonight is Mario from LAPD.
Hi, everyone.
Kick it off to actually hand it to Mario to get a little intro, quick intro of yourself before we get this session started.
Sure. I'm with the Los Angeles Police Department as a police officer, training officer for our traffic division. Been on for about 12 years. Currently the educational director for LA Cops as well.
So tonight's series, we're gonna kind of go over, have some questions for Mother Karina, and so we get some more in-depth look at uh, who is Mother Karina and all the wonderful work that she has done for LA and also for both agencies, because she really has contributed a lot for us. And and then we'll leave an open, so we leave some time at the end for some open questions. And so in the meantime, you have some questions, jot it down, and we'll address that later on at towards the end of the session. So before we begin, I would like to have Mother give a little quick intro of yourself, and before we jump into the questions.
Thank you very much for the invite for this meeting that we have right now, and for building all this also organization, LA Cops, to really help our community. We need also people like you be there with us and helping us in all our journeys. It's been a quite long ways. First of all, being called Mother Karina, it started way back because a lot of our community members had been discriminated by their parents and also relatives, thrown out on the streets for being coming out as transgender. So I encourage my community to be there for each other, to have our own chosen families and help each other. And so with that said, everybody started calling me Mother Karina. I'm the mother of the transgender community. Everybody comes to me for help because I don't have any birth children. So I focus myself on just helping the community and being there for everybody. And I even
Mhm.
go to houses of parents and children who are having difficulty and problems with their relationship because being coming out as transgender. Some of the families still refused to be, be involved with our community. So that's the reason why. And also living in Los Angeles, West Hollywood and Los Angeles, we are a sanctuary city. And we are so lucky to have law enforcement and also mayors and also political political uh, members of the community who are there to support us. Some of the cities in the United States and even other cities do not have that collaboration and also helping our community, so that we're grateful to live in a city like this. And that's the reason why a lot of our members from the transgender community, LGBT, coming from other cities, come to California and to stay here because it's a safer city for them to live in. But unfortunately, most of them run out of money and no education because they're just starting to come out, end up on the streets of West Hollywood, and that's how it began. Also helping all those people that
Yeah.
I need in our community and being homeless, and some of them, go and uh, relate to survival sex, which I call sex work,
Yeah.
things like that, and it had happened in our community.
Oh, I
But
know. Yeah. There's been
yeah,
so much that you have done for the community. And it's, since you kind of brought up how you became the mother, right, for all of us, not just the trans community, because after meeting you, I began calling you Mother Karina. But let's rewind a little bit.
yeah.
Kind of want to know a little bit more about who's Karina, kind of your grew up,
Oh,
your upbringing, your background, and,
okay.
and of course your work before you got into the advocacy work. How your profession, what got you into that profession.
Yes. Okay. I was born in Manila, Philippines. I'm Filipina, and raised with seven sisters. I'm the only male born in the family. And so I grew up with seven older sisters than I am. So we migrated here in the United States, became citizens. Most of my sisters are into medical professionals and doctors and also teachers. But then my dad at the time wanted to have a, an an engineer. So he said to me, I would like for you to become a chemical engineer. So I went to school as a chemical engineer. I graduated in MIT as a chemical engineer, and work with Northrop Grumman, Northrop Corporation first. Northrop Grumman was bought. Northrop Corporation was bought by Northrop Grumman. So work with aerospace industry. Since an engineer, they sent me to school to learn the technology. I work on a stealth bomber and a satellite. I had a top security clearance working with that because they sent me to school to learn that. And I worked near LAX at the time. But at that time, there were no laws that protect us. What Having a top security clearance, we have to apply for that every year, and and one of the questions that they ask on that security clearance that I have to renew every year is, "Are you a homosexual?" At that time, this is way back over 40 years ago, way back. And so when said like that, I had to lie because I'd be dismissed and they would be, getting rid of me because they feel at that time that they get information out of me could be used to discriminate, to get information out of me. So I had to lie and say that. But then what happened was at lunchtime, one of my I overheard my secretary talking with the other secretaries talking about me because they were noticing the changes that I'm going through with
Hmm.
things like, because of the things that what had happened is when I was working at Northrop at that time, I got involved with also West Hollywood. That's where Karina was born, in the bars of West Hollywood. I do my makeup in my
Mm.
and then go to West Hollywood, go home, take everything off, and go home. At that time, when I began my transitioning, is because of the Imperial Court organization. They used to have a pageant called the King and Queen of the Universe, which I partake, and I became, so that's when I went. But I was, transforming during the day. I work as a trans man in suit and tie. At night, I'm in the bars of West Hollywood doing shows at the bars and stuff like that. So that's kind of a double life that I was leading at that time, because I
Yeah.
tell them that I am a trans woman because I would lose my job. But then when I overheard my secretary saying this, and I worked with them for 16 years as a senior engineer, for 16 years as a senior engineer for Northrop Grumman. So I decided to, when I overheard my secretary and they noticed my changes, I said to myself, hey, I'm kind of living a double life. I have to live my own true self as I am. So I quit my job and just turned into, helping the community. But before that happened, I met Jeffrey Prang. Jeffrey Prang used to be working with Sheriff Baca with the sheriff department. Okay, and he created at the sheriff department created an LGBT uh, uh, advisory council for the sheriff department at the time. He created that, and he got me involved. He got introduced to him. He was the one that mentored me, and I used to meet with him because I told him I'm an engineer. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about the system and stuff like that. So he was the one that mentored me and got me. And he said, you should get involved with your community, get more involved with community, and be there for your community. He was the one positive. And my assignment at that time, being part of that LGBT Advisory Council, the Sheriff Department, is to create a policy on interaction of transgender interaction with transgender individuals. The sheriff's
Mhm.
interaction with transgender individuals.
Yeah.
That policy is still being used, I believe. So that's
It is. Yeah, because I don't want to jump ahead because actually that is going to be part of our questions later because you have done so much in different sections
right.
with both agencies and worked on policies and also actually had caused some changes for practices in both departments.
Right.
Now, you did touch on
This
sort of your coming out process. Well,
coming,
was there like a particular event, like something that was specific that caused
yeah,
you, okay, going to live the true self
yeah,
of being
that,
Karina?
yeah.
Yeah.
Imperial Court was concerned. The Imperial Court system at that time had a pageant they called King and Queen of the Universe. This is in West Hollywood. And the surprise ticket to Hawaii is the winner and stuff like that. So, and everybody was saying, hey, you better enter, you better enter. So I entered that and then I won as Queen of the Universe. And so when I won, but then I was still working at Northrop at that time. So,
Mhm.
you know, and I have a makeup artist that would do my makeup and stuff like that during the pageant. And unfortunately, they won. Then they started sending me to Chicago to other contests, beauty pageant contests, and I started winning. All I won in Chicago.
Oh.
So that's when I started thinking to myself. Also, when I overheard my secretary saying to the other secretary, "So unprofessional he looks. You know how he looks and everything. He's making changes." They noticing the changes in me. So I decided and said, "Hey," I said, "Look, life is too short for me to live this double life at the
Mhm.
daytime and living as a woman at night. So I better live my own true self and quit my job." That's when
Yeah.
I just decided on focusing, like Jeffrey Prang had said, focus and reach out to your community, focus on your community, and be there for your community. That's when I got involved more about the community and scenes. So at that time, we did not. We have LGBT advisory councils in those cities. but then we never had a transgender specific advisory board or council. I went to him because mayor. I went to the West Hollywood councils and also the mayor, and I went and asked them, how come we don't have a trans-specific advisory board? We need one. I said to them, and I push it through them and also the city council. And I'm so glad that they embraced it. And Jeff even said, who do you think among the council members who support us on this? I said, I think everybody would. I said, because I've talked to them already. So they passed it. We were the first in the whole country, West Hollywood, has a trans-specific advisory board. Then on 2016, that's on 2009, 2016, I asked, the city of LA, the second 2016, we had the transgender advisor for the city of Los Angeles. But then we still have problems with our community with regards to things about out on the street, especially on our bars and stuff like our local bars. So at that time, Chief Grimala, who was the captain of the Hollywood station, okay, I went there and spoke to her, and I said about our problems with our community. I went to court with also community members and supported them and stuff like that on anything that are related, because at that time we've been targeted and also being targeted because a lot of my girls, because of parents unacceptance, end up on the streets doing survival sex. I call survival sex. I don't even call it prostitution. I call it survival for most of them because and I even said to the police and city council when I said, what's wrong with that? I said, even husband, I said, and bribe their wives to have sex with them. Between two consenting adults, I said to them, and I mean adults, I said, there shouldn't be any problem. You should legalize that. I said to them, because of a lot of my girls, being out in the streets, and also on our bars, being supported with that. And so with that also, but it's not going to pass because it has to go to the ballots, and that it has to go to the courts by vote by the whole population.
Yeah, but
Las Vegas has has a law.
Yeah, but actually that particular advocacy work that you did, when you spoke up and to the city, and actually that's when and then that's when you met I guess then Captain Gramala.
And I went talking to our community, more for the community, and also a lot of our girls again also had problems, especially with their health care. Okay, because we were affected by our healthcare and everything else. And a lot of them buy their medications out on the streets, buying somewhere else. They have a lot of complications and so forth. And so at the time, a lot of my girls would come up to me also and ask, Mother, I have problems with my medication and stuff like that because they're buying it on the streets. Okay. I went to St. John's. St. John's used to be right at the back of the church of St. John's, what's called St. John's, at the back of the church, only for women and children, birth children, and women birth with children. I went to the CEO, and thank goodness to Jim Mangia, who is the CEO, and also at the time, she said, yeah, bring them in, we will help them. He was there and opened their arms to us and helped us, my community and my girls out on the streets, having a lot of complications. And she opened their arms. It doesn't matter if even, they had IDs and stuff like that. They were there to help them. And then at that time when they became larger, I went to him and he said, why don't you start a transgender healthcare program? Now they have 27 clinics all through LA County. They even have one right now in Indio and also Palm Springs. Okay, 27 clinics and 3 also mobile clinics that comes out. And they have a lot of things that they do, a lot of programs that they have in there. Case management, they even have, accommodations for police at police stations and stuff like that, restricting orders, police reports that they help the girls and everything else, housing assistance for also crime victims and also those who are coming out of prisons. Okay, they also have like what I said,
Mhm.
services that they have victims' rights recovery. Also, they do in there all those things that are to help our community. Okay, so I'm their
Yeah, no.
advisor to them. I was put in by Jim as an advisor, and
Mhm.
I still work with them a lot of things and a lot of issues that involve our community. I just focus right now on the whole community and doing work for our community and being there for us. And
Yeah, no, definitely.
You
and
definitely have a lot of accomplishments. I mean, by all means, your work is tremendous. Who, I mean, you've been there walking hand in hand with community members. The curious question is who's been your support? Who's been your backbone through all this?
oh, the thing about that's the reason why I currently sit on several boards. One, the Imperial Court of LA and Hollywood is one of them, who's the president
Mhm.
of the Imperial Court system. We have like over 60, uh, uh, 60 branches all throughout the United States, Canada. It's a three nation, United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Mhm.
And we even expanding now to even Puerto Rico. Okay, so with that said, we have our Queen Mother, which is Nicole Ramirez. She lives in San Diego and also works with the mayors of and also community members of San Diego in the commission. Okay, also commissioner of San Diego. She is the Queen Mother of the Imperial Court Council, and also our King Father who lives in Sacramento. Okay, because we have a lot of different locations right now all throughout the United States, like I said, what I said, even at the borders, across the borders and stuff like that. We're truly grateful for all those people. And I am with that council. I'd like
Mhm.
that I sit on like several boards, like right now, like eight advisory boards, all focus on just community work and helping our community.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
one of the girls when they got in trouble, they even, I get calls from them. Some of them I don't even know, because when they get in trouble, their friends or relatives would get, you better call Mother Karina. So I get a call from them to ask for help. When they're in jail, I go to courts and also what's going on with them. Okay. The bar
Mhm.
also and stuff like that. Because when all the bars closes, all our community members are out on the streets. It affects the neighborhood also. They call the cops and big complaints with all of them. So I get involved with that also. I go to the bars and owner of the bars call upon me when they have problems with our community, being Muslim
Mm.
community. One thing bad about that though, that happened like over a month ago, I was called in by one of our local bars in the valley. The
Mhm.
moment I entered the door, the guys saw me and they introduced me. They said, "There she is, the mother of all the prostitutes." Can you believe that? I just went like
Oh
this.
my.
They were just teasing. They apologized afterwards because all the girls called me Mother Karina.
Mm.
They apologized
Yeah.
afterwards and they just said that, there was teasing and stuff like that. But, being called that. But the thing about it, even when I go to the houses of, you know, my my community who needs help also being having problems with family members and stuff like that, I am there also on their houses. Some of my girls even jumped off the freeway 2 years ago, because of that, parents not accepting, and also religious people at that time. I have so many experiences, so many stories that we can tell about how our community is. And that's the reason why we have to have people like you and people that we need to vote people who are there to support us and help us to expand our work to
Yeah,
this
definitely.
And,
community.
and you shared those stories with being as a guest for LAPD classes, like the recruit classes, the other training classes that we've had. You've shared those stories, those experiences about being profiled by LAPD Hollywood Vice officers, and then you shared your story with the then Captain Beatrice Kamala, which ended up retiring as Assistant Chief Kamala. But you've had a very hand-in-hand walkthrough with regards to later changing policies, right? Being a part of the creation of the LAPD working group, right?
And also one of the things,
Sure.
right, also that I've been asked to do, the mayor, the vice mayor right now of West Hollywood is a lawyer, and they teach us on law schools. Law schools. I've been invited also to talk and right now even give trainings to law students also. And I
Mhm.
go there to help them and sponsor graduating classes and stuff like that because we need them after they graduate to know more about
Mm.
our community and how we are so that because they can be lawyers and they can be there to support our community. And that's the reason why I do it. I do it for them and I
Oh,
do
for
it
sure. Because they're investigating crime. They're working on behalf of that
right,
victim,
right.
right? So you want to have the right words, right? You want to use the correct words or have better best practices. Why not have them from
Yes.
on the forefront of having you as one of those community advocates? You've worked with LAPD with regards to the creation of the LAPD working group and working with policies, not only policies, but better practices and guidelines, and even changing how we write reports, right?
And I'd like to also point out that
Sure.
we even have officers now and cadets who are transgenders. Okay.
Mm.
So that is
Oh,
really
yeah.
very
Yeah, it's groundbreaking.
clear this because when I give my trainings and stuff like that, I ask them they have relatives and some of them said that they are transgender. Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm.
That is amazing.
So we
So
build,
So
us.
you shared your work with LAPD, and you've touched a little bit about with working with Sheriff Baca, and I believe you
Yeah,
mentioned his name, Jeffrey Prang.
Jeffrey Prang, who
Okay,
is,
can you elaborate on that?
yeah, Jeffrey Prang used to work with Sheriff Baca as his assistant chief at that time when I started. And he reached out to me to pay that policy. That's how I get involved. They even gave me a badge, and I also go to the Twin Towers to talk to those who are housed. In LA County, we house them to protect them from general populations at K6G and K11, where
Mhm.
we are transgenders right there to protect them from general populations. But they even have a big mama what they called in there. At that time, we housed them with according to their genitalia. If
Mhm.
they're already transgender, transition, and everything, if they still have the male organ, they are housed in LA County Jail. So I used to go there and talk to them what the problem is, what they're doing right now, and everything else. And thank goodness thank goodness we have a new commander and chief of the sheriff department right now. The other one did not care about us. Thank goodness we have a new one. Luna right now is very embraced of our community and there he's there to support our community. And I'm so truly grateful about that. But now we even have problems right now because 2 years ago we had changed that law that we have now have a choice that we have a choice now to either be housed in the women's county jail or men's county jail. And it backed
Mhm.
because of what had happened. And I don't know if I should tell it in public because I didn't want to keep it out. Okay.
We'll save it for part two if you want.
Yeah, we'll save it for
We'll
part two
save it
because
for a
that's a
part
whole
two.
different
Yeah,
topic. How because I am very
I
deeply involved in that
don't.
process
I just
where we do have our trans folks unfortunately in our custody and we have to provide care and the general practice is it's based on their gender identity and we
right.
will and actually our department will do a review of the person requesting to be transferred and then we'll assess the situation with medical and as well as psychological services. So they put a evaluation together and combine.
Yeah.
So, but that's a whole different topic. I know because I remember when I first met you, Mother Karina, it is the program you started in our jail system, the whole education front. And then actually you did ask that, and actually I follow up checking with my colleagues, and it is still going, but it's
It,
not as big of a program as it was, but it's still happening. So I'm really happy
that,
to see it
that's
still
that.
happening in
Yeah.
there.
Be careful because of things like that. Yeah. And like then
Yeah.
that tour that I had requested that you had obliged. I'm so grateful that we are still having our lot, and serving them and helping them, especially medical, needs and all those things that they need badly is still being done for
Hmm.
our community who are there. I
Yeah,
Awesome.
because it's very specific. Yeah.
Mhm.
So all the work that you've done with City of West Hollywood, LA City, the Sheriff's Department, kind of what is your highlight? I want to hear your like highlight moment. What is the moment that you felt you most accomplished? I want to hear
My,
that.
my highlight is also, which is really good thing, because I am also being invited by the community members, my own community. I was the mother of the groom, you know, because of parents not accepting them who they are. They got married. I was requested to be mother of the groom, and I even signed for the paperwork because their mother don't have nothing to do with them and left them. Okay. I was also mother of
Mhm.
the bride also. So that also with our community having been building all this relationship and all my community members, everybody from my community called me mother, and being always being there. Also, especially on Pride events and stuff like that, they've invited me, the city council, the city of West Hollywood, on parades. I was, grand marshal on several of those Pride parades like Long Beach Pride, WeHo Pride, LA Pride, okay, and also celebrating the 50th anniversary of Pride. They put up a mural of all the past, and they put me as one a mural right there on Hollywood Boulevard and McFadden Place, you know, recognizing what I have worked with our community as mother of the community, which is a good thing. It really is not very much helpful also, and also it's I cry every time I see that because of things that we have done. We have truly have come a long way, okay, from where we were in the past, and we need to reserve our history and to be there and to also reach others, especially with the new generations who are coming
Mhm.
up. Really grateful to see that our new generations are being there and also embracing us as we are.
So,
Yeah, no,
w-
that it's
so we've
go ahead,
talked
Mario.
about. Thank you. We did talk offline about certain current issues, right? Current concerns. What do you see happening currently with the LGBT community, specifically with those the transgender community and those concerns?
Well, right now we are very much accepted with thank goodness by our community and also our allies. That's the reason why we have to reach out to have a lot more allies. Here in LA, we're lucky to live in the city, which I call the sanctuary city, that really help us and serve our community and be there for us, like the
Mhm.
mayor, Marin Bass and Mayor of West Hollywood, and they were there to help us and protect us. Okay, we have to do something about the new president and stuff like that because he is really against us. He doesn't recognize there's only two genders that he recognizes. He said the female and male. He doesn't recognize our community and not there for our community, and it really reflects bad on us as a community and going to be hard for us. This is going to be hard. 3 years coming still, for our community and our generation, especially. I hope we can survive this with because of things like this happening, especially with the eyes. Okay, that is something that we really need to also look after. Anything?
Yeah, so kind of follow up on that. You touched on that about relations with, what's going on with the government, and in recent years, you know, we as law enforcement, we work really hard to mend the bridge building with the LGBTQ community. Jules, myself, Mario, everyone
Right.
who are part of the team. And it's unfortunate that we did see somewhat a breakdown with the community and law enforcement, and
Right.
led to certain, even there's the no cop at Pride um, movement, and as well we saw most recently where New York, their New York chapter of the LGBTQ police officers were not allowed to march in uniform in the Pride event. So what would you say to them, to the community, that really has the opposition feeling against law enforcement? Because I understand the history. I know we're not perfect, we're not there yet, but a lot of work has been done, and we try to improve ourselves.
We
And so
we
here,
have to fight for our rights, and that's one of our rights, to be there who we are and who we want to be. Okay, as a community. Yeah, that as we saw ample reasons based on history for our community to feel suspicious and ignored by law enforcement, and also by all the higher ups. They through working with law enforcement, LAPD, and the sheriff department, we increase resources to protect our community. Be there for our community, to help our community, improve the training of the police. That's what we do. That's what I do, to help on the training and to learn to treat us not with suspicions, but with same respect and dignity given to members of the larger community. That's why we have to preach to all the individuals, and also those prosecutors of hate crimes and stuff like that. We have to stand our rights. Okay, but to Donald Trump would love to make the progress we have made and turn law enforcement and our community against each other by weaponizing local law enforcement to give credibility to ICE. But ICE employs terror tactics such as wearing masks, traveling in unmarked cars in our streets, and attempt to detain members of our community and refusing to identify themselves. They don't even have identification with them. We don't even know if they're real or not, because they and they drive with cars that are not without plates and stuff like that. LAPD cannot be seen aiding ICE, please, because the community resolves that you're part of it and carrying out what essentially attempting kidnappings in broad daylight of all these community members by this ICE. We are aware of the new guidelines which direct LAPD officers dispatch reports of federal immigration enforcement in the incidents to keep the peace, try to verify the identities of people making this arrest, and documents the events on body cameras. If those claiming to be federal agents refuse to cooperate. The guidelines also direct officers to only take actions to protect lives and properties and remain separated from immigration actions. It also said officers should take crime reports for kidnapping or false imprisonment of agents have failed to identify themselves when verification attempts. Okay, so those are the things that we need to and the directives are steps in the right direction, but only if LAPD's actions and LASD live up to the words of LAPD's motto to protect and serve. And we'll be really watching to see who is protected, served, double trapped, and ICE, or members of the community.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Mother Karina. That is a very powerful message to all of us, and really is. And we are working, striving towards that. And that's why actually, the policy you helped put in place that are still in effect on our departments, both departments.
Right.
And yes, and actually, I will be touch bases with you soon too, because it's time for review it, to update it, to bring it to current, to best practices, and some of the terms have changed through time, so we need to bring it to current. So we still need to rely on you, on input, giving us the feedback. And now shifting a little bit, kind of continue on the same chain of thought, is now what can a young member of the community or an ally do to make things better, for whether it's the community in general or the relationship with law enforcement, local law enforcement.
It's the same with local enforcement and the community in general. Be there for each other. We need to help each other and help each other to be there, because if it affects us now, it will be affecting them later. Okay? And serving this as a whole community. That's the reason why I always ask when I get invited to all these forums, community forums, I ask them, who of you have relatives and also friends that are transgenders? I ask right away so that I know if there are, there for our community, or that not interested with helping our community or being there or embracing our community as we are, our true selves.
I think you mentioned it before, the continuous training with LAPD, right, with LA sheriffs is crucial for working with the transgender community. And there's always that concept or topics that exist, right, within the LGBT community. Go ahead.
One other thing that we still lack, and it happened in the past, is the fire department.
Mhm.
How come they're not getting involved with our trainings and stuff like that? Because we had problems in the past, especially when our community gets hurt and they come in there. We have some of those from the fire department that hasn't really helped us, like us, because we are transgenders. We need that. And I've been asking that before, but it just went unanswered. The fire department, we also need them to help our community and be there for us.
Yeah, for sure. They're on the front lines.
Right.
We should all be sharing this common ground, right? This common training. These are definitely some key points. As we then kind of wrapping up our first session with you, Commissioner, I believe it's Commissioner Andrews, if my glasses are working well with me.
That's correct. That's correct. Actually,
Sure.
my question was asked and answered
Okay.
by the other person answering the questions, and thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, did you what was your question? Just curious that you wanted us to maybe we could even elaborate on, since we have that available time.
I think my question was aligned to, because she touched amongst the points with but then she talked about ICE, the current ICE raids, but then she answered how public safety is there to protect you as an individual. So she answered that question in her whole opening statement. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. No, thanks
No,
for bringing that to light
was
again.
yeah, that was one question that was answered.
Good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Does anyone else present want to ask a question for Mother Karina? I do want to touch on the fact that you are very brave to be an advocate that's out there making changes and pushing forward. It's tough to create that wheel. It is tough to create a policy that never existed before. When we see these books, these guidelines, these current laws that exist, we think to ourselves, how can we improve on this? How can we make this better? But to actually write that law, those first words that take effect is just it's incredible. It's mind blowing that you took this head on and created this for the transgender community.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well, I'm truly grateful also with people that mentored me and also built who I am because of the past experiences that we went through as a community,
Mhm.
and those people who are there before us, Marshall
Mhm.
Johnson, and all those who are there before us, because it is the stepping stone where we are at now. That's why we have to preserve our history so that we can look back and be there, so that we know where we came from and where we're going.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Because if you don't, if you forget history, it's you're going to be lost. It's like trying to walk all over again if you don't remember that history. And if you don't know the community, you have to know the history, right?
Where we come from and
Mhm.
where we're gonna be, in the future for this, and thank goodness I said that we have to build bridges to collaborate and also expand to other people and organizations such as I'm so grateful to have, relationship with LAPD, LASD, and being there, being supportive of our community.
Now, earlier you mentioned Jeff Prank help you connect
Right.
with the sheriff's department and also actually help you really be part of bringing you to the community. And you mentioned other people have supported you through the way. So anyone else that stand out in your past really had
Like
got your back because that's a lot of weight you've been carrying
that,
and helping
Yeah,
so many.
yeah,
absolutely.
like what I said, even APIT, APAT, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the board of directors of APAT, SSG, APAT, they're an organization that also relationship helping our community, housing facilities for our, unhoused transgender women, and stuff like that. Those are really building our bridges and also being there to support us and help us, especially
Yeah.
right now that we really need all the help. And we have to expand the relationship with everybody. And thank goodness for people like you who are there with the sheriff department and LAPD who are really always there to help us. Also, every time I there's an emergency call, I would call on you and also Jules and stuff like that. Hey, we got a problem. Can we do help? Yeah, you're always there.
Mm-hmm.
7 when I give a call, I call, to help our community, which I call my family, to be there to help us, which is
Yeah.
build these bridges of, and expanding them for the new generations to come to be there for each other.
Yeah, no,
For
that's
sure.
been wonderful because all these bridges that you help building, and really we have tapped into you many times and connecting, for the right services where when we have, especially I work a lot in our custody folks, and when they needed services once they release, I said they need that transition and a lot of services are not trans specific. So having you there helping me to connect the dots, that's crucial. Like getting St. John, APETS, I mean, these are wonderful organizations. I didn't even know they existed until I met you. Having you helping me guide me along the way. I just can't say enough how much gratitude I have for you, the work you've done, really. It's been
Gratitude also for helping them being there for our community when every time I call and ask for your help. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're here. We're here for sure because we're here to support each other because it's especially now I see now more so than ever. We
Really now
need that.
with what's going on with immigration.
Yeah, yeah. Any any questions from anyone who are here with us tonight? Because this topic is, we only had 1 hour slated for this session, and our future plan is because they're very, I would call it target specific sessions that will bring Mother Karina back in our future kind of other podcast style events, and we'll have Mario give us more information later on. So stay tuned, watch out, go to our website, and we'll send out email blasts to people who subscribe to our email list so you can stay on current to what we have planned. Because besides these Trailblazer sessions, we have other great plans planned ahead. Besides podcasts, we have other outings as well for our group. And I see Jules put on the chat that our website, LACOPSPride.org. Take a moment, go onto our website, and you can on there subscribe to our email list so you can be notified of any events, any other future workshops that we put on, and also as well as membership applications. You can reach out to us. We'll get you started on the process. So, am I missing anything, Mario?
No, I think you've captured it. It's very inspiring to hear your stories, to hear the groundwork that you've laid down for with LAPD, with LASD, right, with other agencies worldwide, and it's to actually see you doing the work, right? It's so inspiring to say like, wow, it could be done. It could be done.
Thank you, and thank you for that to support our community.
Yeah. So any events upcoming, Mother Karina, that you want us
Yeah,
to be aware of?
I have several events coming up. I mean, Downey Pride is coming. There again, we had
Uh-huh.
problems in the past because of the city council there. I went and
Yes.
ready because City Council Trujillo, who used to be a mayor, was targeted at one point, but the community Downey Pride is not even done by the city. It's done by SCADA, an organization. So I was invited to go, and I'm gonna go and see and participate on August 10th and see
Okay.
what happens regarding that. That's the event that's coming up, Downey Pride. And also Long Beach is having some kind of also event and stuff like that. But these are other organizations such as the Imperial Court of Long Beach. Okay. And so things like
Got it.
are happening with the community. But I will be inviting you if we have another events as a weekend. But please look upon also what I also mentioned about the fire department because we had problems with them in the past.
Yeah, no, definitely. I will reach out to my counterpart over the county side because actually the LA County Fire Chief Maroney, he, even embrace the community, have met him a few times, and so we'll plan something. I'll reach out to my counterpart to make sure so that the dots are connected. It is always that we work for the same goal, is
Oh,
how to better with the community,
exactly.
and no need to silo it. And yeah, the message is always the same. It's with respect, and probably the fire department will handle situation different than what we handle, right? Always we are honed on, you know, a lot of it always bring back is the hate crime aspect. So we
Right.
usually do a lot. Whereas the fire department probably is a treatment of patients when medical needs, and so they should be aware a little bit more of the trans community of what their needs are. It's unique, I have to say, it's unique and different than the general public. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, thank you, Mother Karina, for
Yes,
being
thank you.
here with us and for all that you do for the community and again for the cities, for LAPD and for the Sheriff's Department. And we're really looking forward to our future chats
Yeah.
with you and also with other community members. And we, as LACOPS Pride grow through the years, we are trying to create more events that are really topic specific. And also, too, part of our goal is besides outreaching is networking, networking with members of community and also inside our department because we know there are more than just a few of us, and as we are giving the safe space for all the community members who are currently in any law enforcement or first responder in LA County to have a space to connect and really meet more friends. And I always say our profession is very same and similar, and it's always good to share stories and also know that hey, when I need who I should can call for help. So I really happy to see LA Cops Pride coming together and really serving a purpose for the community and also for the members on both departments throughout LA County.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, until next time, we'll stay tuned for our next Trailblazer series in 2 weeks and with Carl Matthews. And so we'll be hosting that in July 24th, as Jewel pulled in the chat, and we'll be also sending out invites and the Zoom link for the next session. Until then, everyone take care and stay cool in this hot weather, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.